Hi, I'm Catharina, I'm a technician. So I'm here today to discuss with you and show you how to take a blood sugar reading on your animal who is diabetic. This is something that could be important to know how to do at home if ever you need to take blood sugar readings for the vet, or if ever you are concerned that he or she might be having a low blood sugar. So we want to have everything ready with us today before starting. So you'll be receiving a prescription from the vet to go get a glucometer, and that's something that you would get at the pharmacy. So a glucometer is this instrument which helps us read blood sugar, and there is a little thing that we have to insert that will take the blood from the ear, and it's just a very small drop that needs to be inserted on the side. So when we have that little drop of blood, all we need to do is put it against it, and it will actually draw up the blood that's necessary, and we really need a very small amount. Now, before we begin, we have our glucometer, blood sugar reader, next to us. And what's important is to be using the proper needles. In your glucometer from the pharmacy, which is for humans that we use in animals, you'll be having also the kind of thing that we use to take the blood from our fingers as humans. And we don't recommend using that because it's a lot more invasive on an animal. So we want to use the needles that we sell you here, very small, we call blue needles, that are just big enough that we can poke a very, very small area on the ear. The other part that's important is to know where to poke to draw a small drop of blood. And depending on the animal, especially some cats, we can easily see the veins that are along the ears. So the veins that we want to draw a little drop of blood is actually like about a millimeter away from really the extremities of the ears. So all along the extremity follows a very nice little vein, and even in the light sometimes we can see a little red line. And with a light we can actually put a light against the ear and actually see the veins. But we really want to try to limit ourselves to poking on these extremities here, and we can alternate from sides depending on how many readings we need to do. So I like to use a little bit of Vaseline, especially with long-haired animals. Sometimes we may need to even shave the tops of the ears to be able to see better. But we put a small film of Vaseline because that really helps for the drop of blood to not just spread in the hair. So we have our spot chosen, and I know where the vein is and we can see it, but sometimes you might need help to locate it. So with the very, very tip of the needle where there's like an opening, we want to use that to just insert the very little tip, just to feel like we're poking in the ear very slightly. We want to hold the ear well. And so I'm going to poke in the ear, and hopefully from the first try we can press. There we go. We can press on either side. Sometimes it's going to come by itself because we've poked. I poke very gently, and all we need is a very, very small drop of blood like this. We insert our little reader for the blood sugar, and we wait to see that drop of blood that tells us that you can use it. So we just go right against the little blood, and it siphons the amount of blood needed, and then we wait a few seconds to get the reading that we need. And we take a little cotton pad and we just do a little compress, and we thank our animal for allowing us to do that. And that's how it works. Have a nice day.